Center worldwide, we know that we are not here by chance, we are here by divine appointment. And for those who are tuning in, that there is something here for you, and we are the 2 or 3 gathered that put this energy out into the universe, and others, their lives are transformed, they're touched, and they're moved. And we are so grateful to be in our way of life, and to realize that we not only look for the good and we praise it, but you take the P off, you raise the vibrational frequency and the energy of life itself, that life is such a gift. And as we come together this morning to look at the power of our word can change the world, and that we teach, the principles that we teach, is that thoughts are things and words are molds, and that everything that we utter here in this throat chakra, in the power center, that which we utter becomes the outer expression of our word. Thoughts are things, words mold the expression of our life. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, said, change your thinking, change your life. That we make that shift. It's a subtle shift in consciousness. That we begin to entertain in consciousness that which is life working, that which uplifts. And that when we are in challenges and we are in those situations, that to remember the Course in Miracles of it, every loving thought is true. And everything else is a call for healing or help, regardless of the form it takes. And sometimes the form of it is, really not to our liking. But every loving thought is true, and everything else is a call for healing or help, regardless of the form it takes. It's calling us to step up to our true spiritual stature. And we know that in Genesis, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Nothing was made that was made without this Word. God said, let there be light. And guess what? There was light. So when we speak our word as co-creators with our higher power, and we say, let there be enlightenment on this situation. That which needs to be healed is healed. That which needs to be revealed is revealed. That which needs to be known is known. And that which needs to be released is released. Quickly, gently, and with grace. And I want you to know, the quickly, gently, and with grace is something I added along the way, because things can be healed, but not quickly, gently, and with grace. And so I learned through my own unfoldment to add that. That was very, very important. And I always say on every trip, and I go all over the world on my speaking for peace, being the president of the International Foundation for World Peace, that the angels go before me and prepare the way with ease and grace. So that when I'm in those lines at the airport or whatever, and sometimes, I go through the wrong line and I've got these foreign officers saying, you went through the wrong line. Especially in Germany, it's really interesting. I said, I did. Oh, darn. And I just kind of make light of it. And they go, well, go ahead. So I learned, you resist not. We make our mistakes, we get to do it again. But the truth is that there is a tonal quality. And Mary teaches toning, and she does toning for our community, and that it lifts that vibrational frequency to a place of that opening of the heart, realizing that as I open my heart, as I realize where my treasure is, there my heart will be also, and the things that I value. So I love these wonderful parable in the Bible, and Jesus spoke in parables. Jesus was a great storyteller. And he felt that people could understand the parables. And he performed miracles. What did he do? He moved through the appearances, the conditions, and the effects. He got to that place of seeing everyone whole, perfect, and complete in his presence. And it's so amazing how the response that he got was in healing, and they called it miracles. But the truth is, when we speak our word, and we look at something, and we speak our word knowing that there is a perfection in this situation, there is a wholeness in this person, that if we are at all receptive, we're going to come forth in a way that we've never quite come forth before. So I love this story about when he healed the blind man, and that his opponents try to say, well, what went on here? I mean, do you think it was because of something you did in a past life or something you did in this life? And this man just bypassed all of it. I loved it. He said, where I was blind, I can now see. And no matter how they tried to trap him, whereas I was blind, now I see. So we have blind spots in our own life. Whereas I was blind to my good, I can now see. Whereas I was looking outside of myself for all the answers, I can now see. Whereas I was blind to the good that was at hand in this situation that looked so negative. Because we do call everything in. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow sometimes, that we call everything in. Because nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. And nothing can stop a lesson whose time has come. When the time has come for that lesson, it comes in. What are we going to do with it? Sometimes we take a stand. We take a stand in the truth. We speak our word with firmness and with love. And when that happens, that penetrates that energy outside of us. So we have our breakdowns so that we can have our breakthroughs. And when everything falls apart, we think, oh my God, it falls together at a higher level if we'll allow it to do that. Because whereas I was blind, now I see. Whereas there was this situation over here that I thought was outside of me and that I had nothing to do with it, I can see the responsibility in my own life. We don't blame. We take responsibility for the things that we draw in so we can learn and grow and unfold. And every once in a while, stuff's going to fall through the cracks. And when it falls through the cracks, you forgive yourself, you learn, and you move on. You don't keep beating yourself up about it or anyone else. We drew it in so we could learn, grow, and unfold. And I had, just this recent lesson where I retained someone to do light office work and to, be in the office, and we had a handshake agreement. And I have been all over the world. My life has been so full that I haven't really paid attention to certain things that maybe I should have been paying attention to. So now that I have been home for a while, she, asked for more money, and I thought, how can I owe her $1,400 when I just paid her $1,400? And so, one of our vision council went through the whole list and saw that she had overcharged me quite a bit, because the truth is I was not paying attention. I was just taking her at her word, paying without any compunction, because I feel that you trust. And I'm not going to not trust because of that. I will be more discerning about things. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it either, because I realize that there are things that occur in the universe, and there are certain karmic lessons that we have. So when we take responsibility for it, we can transmute that energy. And when we're singing the music that we sing, that programs our consciousness, in my day, there was all these huge hits. Born to lose, born to lose. People would sing along with it, and they'd give it all, they're all born to lose, and all these really negative songs, and there were some country western songs, in the washing machine of life, I'm in the spin cycle, all of those. And we sing along with all, our heart and our soul, and we're programming ourselves. So we begin to be more conscious of what we're putting in our consciousness. We begin to acknowledge that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we really are using it every moment. We are co-creating with a higher power by the thoughts we think. So if thoughts come in that are negative, you just observe them, return them to their native nothingness from whence they came, because they have no power over you. We give them life, we give them energy, we empower the thoughts so that they show up in our life, but we're all part of the human condition. As our humanness gives way to the divine, the Christ consciousness arises triumphant and victorious and says, be of good cheer, I have overcome. I have overcome the world of conditions, the world of effects, the world outside of me. Remember when Buddha talked about non-attachment, it was to have situations in our life that we didn't give our power away to, that we could look at the situation objectively and not take it on. power of detachment isn't that, oh, well, I don't care. No, it's I care deeply and I'm compassionate to the situation. But I'm not taking it on. I'm not giving my good away. I'm not giving my well-being away to it. I realize that there is that power for good in the universe greater than I am, and I co-create with it. And I'm going to detach, and the power of non-attachment is recognizing that this is here and that I can give my love and my energy to it in a much more conscious way, to be mindful. This week I was on Alicia Breen's show. It's called Be Your Own Guru. And there was a question. It was at 6 a.m. and Pacific Daylight Time. And there was a question from someone in the South. It's 9 o'clock there. And she said, you know, with all this going on and, you know, all this, the politicians and everything, you know, we just don't know where to turn. And I said, turn in the direction of the light. Turn in the direction of spirit. Turn in the direction that allows you to feel the freedom and the energy to know that this has been going on for centuries. What does Caesar say? Oh no, not you too, Brutus, as they putting the knife in his back. You know, this has been going on forever. That conscious people get together and realize we have a lot of work to do on the planet. We are not ostriches. We do not place our head in the sand because you know it's sticking up there. No, we know what's going on out here, right? And so when you know what's going on, you can do something about it. You can say, yeah, okay, be still and know. And these are my affirmations because the most important words that we're ever going to say is I am. I am peace. Be still and know, Psalms 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am peace. Be still and know that I am love. Be still and know that I am harmony. Be still and know that I am wisdom. Be still and know. And to use the sacred I am, because when we say, oh, I am so sick and tired of that, you think, God, I'm tired. Oh, you know, I've got to go lay down now. At a DNA cellular level, it starts to take hold. I used to hear my father say that at least 10 times a day. Oh, I'm so tired. You know, it's just, you know, it was really interesting to me. And when I got into Science of Mind, I was 21 years old. And so I began to bring it to his attention, which he did not appreciate. But when he was getting ready to make his transition, he said, will you do one of those things you do? And I said, you mean a prayer? He goes, yeah. And so I spoke my word and just acknowledged and invited the angels, the archangels, and all enlightened beings into this room and to see this release and love, peace, harmony, and balance. And that there is a power and a love in this room. And that with all that my father and I had gone through, that there was forgiveness and compassion for the human condition. And that when we can speak our word in such a way that it gives someone else comfort, you know, we truly, you know, we need words of comfort. We need words of affirmation. We need words that reach out beyond whatever we're going through and says, I care, I'm there for you. I am there for you. And when we can open to that consciousness and begin to empower ourselves with this tonal quality, to speak words of power, to speak words of comfort, to speak words of peace, because our word is changing the world. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. There I am in the midst of them. That energy where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts, and the I am presence, the synergistic mind of God takes over. That's why I love community. I absolutely love community. When I was 5 years old, I used to go to the Christ Community Church, and Charlie, his name was Charlie White, and he was the minister, and he used to call, you know, if you want to be saved, come up. And so I would go up there every Sunday, and he'd say, you know, honey, you're saved. We know you're saved. And I guess I was insecure. I just needed to know that I was I was saved. And then I found metaphysics and realized I was really never lost. And when you make that discovery, yeah, exactly, right? And, but it was such a loving experience, you know, at the Christ Community Church, which was in walking distance of Canoga Park where I was raised. And so that was my foundation. And when we want something more, we evolve to something more. And when I found metaphysics, I thought, I have always believed this way. I believe thoughts are things and words are molds. I do believe we create our destiny by the very thoughts we entertained in consciousness. And that when things come up in our life and people are judging us, whereas I was blind, now I see. Whereas I judged outside of myself, I no longer need to do that. Whereas I looked out and I saw, oh, I felt the spirit of jealousy that they have more than I do. Must be nice. I realized I had it all along. Whereas I was blind, now I see. And that wonderful song, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was blind, but now I see. I see. And so each of us has that opportunity to move through some blind spot in our life. Whereas we were blind to that, now we see. That we can speak our word as one having authority, Jesus said. Speak your word with power. Speak your word with love. Speak your word with the power to know that you can transform the routines of work into celebrations of life and love. That we are here to be truly in community. That when we feel that oneness, regardless of color, race, creed, or sexual orientation, when we feel that oneness and that spirit of oneness, something takes over, and then we go to the next level. So even though we may not like certain experiences that come up, we can see them, that this is a call. It's a call for us to use compassion, to use love, to speak our word with kindness, to really realize that there is this power that is moving through us, that we can tap into it, the holy I am presence. I am peace. I am love. I am joy, which is the most infallible sign of the presence of God is joy. And if you are not experiencing joy, we're in the ego. So we can just let that go. We can let the ego go and experience this path, this unfoldment, and this opportunity. Because where are we going?
Higher.
Yes, we are. We are going where? Higher yet. Where are we going? Higher yet. And that makes all the difference. God bless you. I love you. And I love where we're going. And so it is.
So